We'll come back with more action in just a minute. And John Losing-Humillet back with you, calling the action tonight from Paris, France, and Evander Holyfield getting set to take on Michael Brothers. Holyfield's 12th fight as a pro, and Humillet, is he being brought along at a pace you'd like to see? We saw Tyson fighting so many fights before getting the title fight, yet Holyfield already has the belt, and this is only his 12th fight.
Yeah, a lot of people thought getting him with KO3 was sure death, because KO3 is a veteran, a guy who's been in prison. But, you know, as you mentioned in our open, the fact that he got in some unbelievable shape for that, cut back on his junk food, and now he's on a pretty stringent diet and training very hard, and Lou Duva feels there's no limit to what this guy can do, and of course Lou's his trainer.
And Holyfield on the left, both wearing white trunks. Holyfield now on the right, Brothers a challenger on the left. We'll go 10 rounds in this non-title fight, and we'll see what transpires, but already I think you can tell that Holyfield has a good, stable foundation. He looks solid, he looks coordinated, he's got the good build, and he's on his toes, Hugh, and you can see already that Brothers is fighting flat-footed and taking a few shots already.
Yes, like you just kind of called up Michael Brothers a couple weeks ago and said, if you want to make a couple thousand, show up for a workout with Evander, and it'll be an official fight. And Evander looks in excellent shape, and Lou said he would be in good shape, because a lot of times when you have these lesser fights after a big fight, you don't work as hard. But he said Evander's been working very hard, hanging out in the Lou's gym up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and as you see the combinations, he's quick, he's on his toes, and looking real good.
Yeah, Holyfield trying to work that left jab right now to the face of Michael Brothers, and Brothers, a boxer with little power, and already we can see that he's going to have problems tonight with the former Olympian.
And the fact that Evander's 23, and as you mentioned before, it's his 12th pro fight. We mentioned maybe being rushed along, but the cruiserweight division is one where you can maybe hurry it up a little bit, because the talent's there, but it's a lot of young talent, and it's hard to predict these guys.
It's a wide-open division, Hugh, really not contested as a division since Marvin Campbell and Carlos De Leon went at it in the late 70s and early 80s, but now rising to the fore, guys like Holyfield. You can see Holyfield going to work right now with his left, and it looks like already Brothers is in trouble, backed up against the ropes, and Holyfield really firing at will and attacking the challenger.
All business tonight, you can tell, and the fact that his hands are so quick and are so powerful, he might be the quickest cruiserweight out there.
A little over 30 seconds to go here in the first round from Paris, as Evander Holyfield tries to up his record to 12-0 as a pro.
As I mentioned before, the big money's on the horizon for this guy. We mentioned the Tillman Evander Holyfield. How about a Burt Cooper Holyfield? Holyfield jumps up to heavyweights. Who knows what's going to happen up there? And he's just working and throwing a lot of punches. As we mentioned before, in a KO3 fight, he threw close to 90 punches per round. For lightweight, the average is about 60. So
that's unheard of for a man that big to throw that many punches against a strong man like KO3. And Brothers not nearly in the same category as a KO3, and we can see it already that Holyfield pretty much calling the shots and writing his own ticket. He's having an easy time slipping his punches and working to the face and the body so far of Michael Brothers.
Well, he's headed all his way this first round. You know, Brothers is in backing up, and Holyfield's been throwing a little left, a little right, some great overhand rights like right that one. And he's looking, and down we go for Brothers in the first round.
Down on the canvas already at the end of round one goes Michael Brothers. He'll be saved by the bell, and we'll take the opportunity to take a quick timeout. We'll be back. Two from Paris, France. A good look at the face of Evander Holyfield, the former Olympian, did not win his gold medal, but he's certainly succeeding as a pro, the first Olympian from the class of '84 to get his title, and going to work now against Michael Brothers, who went down on the canvas right at the end of round one, and Holyfield coming out and setting the pace already here in round two.
Holyfield is just entirely too quick and too strong and too talented for this walking stiff they call Michael Brothers. He's there. This is essentially a workout for Evander Holyfield. There's no doubt in my mind. The guy looks sharp. He looks serious. He's not taking it too lightly, and unfortunately, Brothers has got to be in the ring with this guy.
I think he's prepared to go 10. Of course, he really hasn't had to fight into the late rounds much in his career, Hugh, but he out-punched, he out-conditioned KO3, and already we're seeing that the work has really paid off. And there's a right that stuns the challenger, Michael Brothers. And we'll take some time off to regroup right here as he gets to count, but Evander Holyfield looking very impressive here at round two.
Evander almost looks like he should have a business suit on today. He just looks like it's all business. I'm going to come out and put this guy on the mat, and I'll get back to Lancaster, PA to work for Henry Tillman, because that's how serious he looks about this fight.
So it's been all Evander Holyfield. He sets him up with that left, and he comes across with that powerful right. And you see Brothers just kind of flailing away. All he can do is defend himself. And there's the combinations and the quick work by Evander Holyfield, who's really measuring his opponent now. And this one could be all over here in a couple more rounds, the way it's going so far.
Some boxers I know have watched should take a few lessons from Evander, because this guy really sets before he throws the big bombs. He's on his, he's flat-footed. He's throwing some heavy leather. Brothers taking some good shots here.
And about a minute 15 to go here in round 2, but already Michael Brothers in trouble. And there you see Evander Holyfield having pretty much his own way, and he's so solid with his punches, Hugh, and he's got them all wrapped up. And there you can see right now, it looks like Brothers is very scattered and just having his problems tonight.
Yeah, he's just out-talented, I guess you'd say it is. There's just no doubt. Evander just really
and right across the face. And again, his Brothers is backed up to the turnbuckle. And now Evander Holyfield going to work on the challenger here in round 2 as time winds down with just about 35 seconds to go.
The hands are down, so look for the right to come across, because Brothers' hands are out down about his waist right now.
Well, we saw the excellent left of Jose Luis Ramirez in our first bout, and now it's that powerful right punching power and the combination work of Evander Holyfield that's really doing the damage tonight. And there you see it once again. Didn't score that time, but he has been so far. Time winding down here in round 2. We'll be back with more action from Paris in just a minute.
John, as if we need to keep score, Evander, of course, would be awarded those 2 first rounds, but you just have this feeling that we don't have to keep a scorecard, because the way Evander's throwing punches and that Michael Brothers is catching them, Mr. Brothers will be going down pretty soon.
Well, Brothers a natural light heavyweight. Only one time has he fought as a cruiserweight. This is his second cruiserweight fight in the 195-pound category. And he's got a run-in tonight with Evander Holyfield, and Holyfield looking very strong in those first 2 rounds. That's Holyfield on the right and Brothers on the left.
Well, Lou Duva said he feels Evander could be one of the great fighters of the 80s, and Michael Brothers will be able to go back home and say one day he wasn't around with this guy, because he's certainly taking a pounding right now.
Well, about to be taken out of the round the way Holyfield looks, and he's measuring him up right now, and we'll see what happens here. First 2 rounds clearly going to Evander Holyfield, the junior heavyweight champ. Back up the ropes again goes Michael Brothers, and to the body goes that strong left of Evander Holyfield, and really measuring him up. I think it's just a matter of time right now, Hugh, because it's Brothers is holding up, but he's certainly wearing out.
Well, the last thing you want to do right now is get back against the ropes. Brothers is just fighting stupidly right now, because it's exactly where Holyfield wants him to be. He's right against the ropes, right in front of him.
Well, let's don't write the script too early, but Anthony Davis, Jason Namoudi, Terry Mims, Cowie, all victims of Evander Holyfield, and certainly Michael Brothers could be in that category the way he's fighting tonight. He's scattered, he's being blunted, he's having a lot of problems, and back up against the ropes, and there we see just a replay of what's been happening, and it looks like now he's really in trouble. Holyfield going to work.
He's taking some good shots, though. I will say that. Brothers has taken about the best so far Holyfield could offer, and it's taken. It keeps on coming.
And Holyfield pausing now, trying to plan out his next course of action, but seems to me that what he's done so far has worked pretty well. Brothers, as you say, he's taken some punches, but I think it's just really a matter of time as Holyfield goes to work, and there it is. He's got him backed up against, firing away, flailing away at Brothers, who's just covering up in the left to the ear, the right to the ear, on the whiskers, and there it goes. It's broken up here in round 3, and that could be all. I think he's going to get the count here with about 30 seconds left to go in the 3rd round. Michael Brothers is in trouble.
And I think they're going to call it a day.
That's it. It's being stopped. Evander Holyfield, the champion, and winning once again. He's undefeated as a pro, and in this non-title fight, he looks ahead now to some of the other cruiserweights, and certainly very impressive tonight, Hugh.
Well, it was a big fight. It's one of those things you have to do. You have to fight it. You have to go out and do a good job, stay in shape, and he looks in tremendous shape, does Holyfield, and as we mentioned before, bigger paydays on the horizon for Evander, because you're looking at Henry Tillman in about about 2 months.
Yeah, the two Olympians going at it on February 14th. Tillman's got some business to take care of, and Holyfield can kind of rest in his laurels now. He looked very good tonight. He's in shape, and I think, Hugh, that if the call comes, he can go 12 rounds. He can go 15 rounds in the WBA division, and certainly we're looking at the WBA champ right here. He would have to go 15 rounds. I think he looks like he can do it, although he hasn't had to do it so far.
Well, you know, as far as overall talent and workmanlike procedure, I think Holyfield will certainly be the favorite when he fights Henry Tillman. Tillman's a big guy and should give him some problems, but Evander looks like he's come so far so quickly, and he's going to be tough to beat for anybody in the cruiserweights. And if he can put on about 10, 12, 14 pounds, look for him to jump up to heavyweights, because he's got the quickness and we know he's got the strength.
So the belt remains with Evander Holyfield, who never got the gold, but he certainly got the belt, and he's performing quite well with that mantle. And there we take a look at the round 3 action. He's got him backed up against the ropes, sets, measures with the left, comes across to that right, and oh boy, there's a stinging left right there.
Well, you mentioned set and measures. It's just calculated. He's not wasting any energy. All his punches are hitting the mark. He's looking, he's shooting, and everything looks good. He looks tremendous, and we'll see him back in action in about 2 months from next week.
Well, that about does it for our special boxing show from Paris, France. And
what shapes up as a most appealing matchup: Evander Holyfield against Henry Tillman for the WBA Junior Heavyweight Championship on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Valentine's Day to each and every one of you, and a special big red one to a little boxing history today.
We will, Frank, and in addition to being teammates, they were also roommates at the Pan American Games in 1983 in Caracas. They roomed together in Los Angeles in 1984. Holyfield was involved in that very controversial bout where he wound up having to settle for the bronze medal in the light heavyweight division. Tillman, meanwhile, was one of 9 Americans who won gold. He was the gold medalist in the heavyweight division. And as I turn now to Alex Wallow, the irony here is that there were 9 gold medalists, 1 silver medalist, and 1 bronze medalist for the U.S. at Los Angeles, and the man who won the bronze wound up winning the first title, Holyfield.
That's right, Alan. Anyone who saw the class and the quiet dignity with which Evander Holyfield accepted that controversial disqualification in the Olympics can only be happy for him that he has now finally won a world championship. But even though he is champion, I think he has not yet reached his full potential. This is only his 14th professional fight, and with more experience, he will get better, especially if he gets that surge of confidence that comes to so many fighters when they win a title.